As you noticed from the title of the video, I was contemplating what should I make a video about, what subjects do I have enough insight into to where people would find worth in my unsolicited opinion. And then I found myself contemplating the worth of all of this. I've been doing art and digital art specifically for 4 years and a half. I started in August of 2020, and since then I have seen nothing but progress from me. But when I have to look outwards, I find that there is no progress. Surely some might add the content isn't good enough, or the videos just aren't entertaining. And I can see the idea, since even this video is me contemplating to a screen, but I was genuinely contemplating quitting trying to monetize my art. But then I realized, when I look at other people doing this, they were either really skilled or they brought personality into this. I saw some video about artists who are successful at conventions, and the video basically came down to reaching for the audience, not waiting for it to come to you. Although I do consider to put myself out there fairly significantly, I realized, believe it or not, from a quote that the rapper XXXTentacion said, I can't find it or exactly what he said, so just take my word for it. He talked about making yourself finite and unique. That if you put too much of yourself out there, then you are plain. If you restrict a bit or withhold the putting out there only for some of the best things that I have to offer as a personality, then I might find success. I often find myself looking outwardly for answers. Asmongold said that he became successful in streaming by copying what others who were in the position that he wanted to be in and what they did. Like he copied what they did, which I agree with. But I can also almost hear some of the people in the audience say, why should you listen to this nerd? He should tell me about World of Warcraft, not career paths. But I have to admit, if you separate him as a person and look to the actual idea that he was talking about, he has a point. This video, I find it as an authentic representation of myself, since I try to give advice in my videos. How not to get art block, how to do lots of stuff. Less on technical stuff, since I consider that if I were a beginner and stumbled across myself, I wouldn't listen to someone with my skill level. But often I try to dig into the psychology of being an artist. And while doing so, I often find people, especially in video essays, use art and suffering in tandem, like they are one side of the same coin. But I disagree honestly. The reason I have continued doing art, even though I have nothing to show for it, is because I genuinely find comfort in it. I love the sandbox element of it, it's just completely freeing. So I find a little, I don't know, I don't want to sound dramatic, but for the lack of a better word, I would say that I find it dramatic that many people consider art to be suffering. Many use examples like Van Gogh, insinuating that he was plagued with his creativity. While I look at Van Gogh as a person who used art as a crutch to his sanity, I genuinely believe if not for his art, he would have had more mental breakdowns, and I'm surely many artists can relate to this feeling, and I hope that many don't relate to it, but I'm sure that they do. As of late, I try to fumble with my own psychology, what do I do, what do I do with my life, and I find myself in this conundrum. I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. And honestly, it's not my skill level that is lacking. It's my I don't have anything to show for it. Sure, I have the literal art, I can show you a drawing, I can show you, you give me a subject to draw and I can draw it even on paper. I have become way better with my perspective, portraits, backgrounds, everything. I even did watercolor painting and I still do. But I found the most comfort in separating the idea of actual creation and art from the idea of monetization. I tried in the past to take my skills into a more useful approach, but as time passed, I realized that fundamentally art is useless. And look, I know many of you are gonna get triggered by what I'm saying, but think about it. Except for the subjective use of it, you find value in it because you just do, there is not actual use to it. Of course, there are exceptions to any generality. There are exceptions. You can say how is an architectural artist useless, or how is a I don't know, industrial designer artist useless. They are not useless. But what I'm referring to, for example, what was John Singer Sargent useful for, except for culture and cultivating yourself, He was a good painter. He made paintings that you could look at and you'd be like, wow, that's a good painting. Except for that feeling and that legacy of that feeling, he was practically useless. Look, useless is a really bad word to use, and I know people on the internet are really sensitive, but please separate what I say and the trigger that it gives you, what I say gives you, and actually think about it. I fumble with this concept a lot, because I often find my art to be really meaningful for me, and I often really cherish it, and I'm really hurt when people comment on it, even though I mostly separate, but in real life, when people comment on it, a lot of times I find myself oh, they're lying, or oh, they're just saying it just for the sake of saying it to make me feel good, and it really pisses me off. This is one of the huge reasons why I tell people do not compliment me, because I'm gonna get mad. I don't know, it's just a visceral feeling. I just get mad when people compliment me because I do not believe that I deserve it. And I know this sounds insecure and I don't want to nag people, but I just don't like it. And not getting off topic, let's just not stray too much. I realize that fundamentally art is useless. The use of it isn't tangible. Rarely can you actually use art. I find it soothing for the soul. That is why I put these out there. All of my writing, ideas, and art, and psychology, and my unsolicited opinions, which no one asked for, but I'm still saying them. I put it out there because in the end, I think to myself, if it gives me comfort, it will surely give somebody else comfort as well. And that's enough for me. And I know that it sounds like I picture myself as this saint that is actually a narcissist, which low-key I kinda am. I'm infatuated with myself, if you don't notice by the video. But I do believe that this delirious infatuation in my own mind is the one factor that made others reach positions that I want to reach one day. I hope this video really means something to many more other than me. I know it was kind of like rambling, my own mind put on paper, and I say that in quotations because I don't believe I even scratched 1% of my actual mind with this video. But I do want to get into video essays, and I am sure some people will put my video and my crazed ramblings in the background while they grind on a video game or force themselves to practice in art or any other form, since I also do these things with other similar creators, using video essays as a background noise. Anyway, just subscribe, like the video if you liked it, voice your opinions, even if they're negative, or if you disagree, I will read your comments. I'm a small creator, so I just instantly see your comments. I snapped on my fingers if you didn't hear it. Take care and have a nice day.